Hey everybody, it's David with Poe Run. And today I'm going to start working on the wall, my first wall that's going to go up on the second floor, which is ultimately going to be this back wall. The back wall is 34 feet long. The 28-foot span you see right here is going to be about 9 feet tall. And then I've got a 2-foot chunk over here that is going to be 5 feet tall, as well as a almost 4-foot chunk over here that's going to be 5 foot tall as well, which will give us the roof line that we're looking for. Everything again is going to be framed in 2x6 framing, and this is just going to be a little process of cutting everything out, measuring for a patio door, as well as 2 5-foot wide windows, and that's it. This is a load-bearing wall, meaning it's holding up the roof, so I do need to put in headers, unlike some of the end gables that won't have headers like you might be used to, because advanced framing, you don't need those. So this is pretty straightforward, and gonna take me a little bit of time to cut all my 2x6s to length and get everything nailed up. So stick around. Thanks for tuning in, and if you all have any questions, please feel free to put comments down below. Otherwise, have an absolutely wonderful day. Yesterday I ran into a small problem. Yesterday I talked about building this lower wall, or I should say the southern wall, because it was going to be pretty straightforward. It's a 9-foot wall, you know, there's a couple of windows, there's going to be a patio door opening, but that's basically it for the most part. But then I realized that over here on my east and then behind us on the west wall, this is, for lack of a better term, a gable roof, and the slope goes from the peak here is about almost 13 feet, and over here it's about 5 feet for about 4 feet across. So basically gives us an interesting roof line is what I'm looking for. And I realized that I can't build this southern wall and then lift up this gable wall because I have an overhang, and that would just interfere. So change of plans. I'm going to build this wall first. I need to build the opening, and then we're going to build this other wall as well. And so what I've done is laid the whole thing out, which normal people would do, here on my deck. And I got this pretty darn close. I got to double check my math a few more times just to make sure I have exactly what it's supposed to be. But over here, this is the north side. We have an 8-foot wall. It's going to have a 2x12. I don't want to haul one over, so this is just 2x6. 2x12 rafter is going to go straight up, and that is going to meet with ultimately the rafter that goes down to the south wall. What's interesting about how I'm designing this, as far as the end walls go, is that this is going to look like a continuous through rafter, but in reality there's going to be a large support beam here, which is going to be made out of poplar. It's going to be here that's going to stretch the length of the building. So I have to account for that beam, figure out how I'm going to cut my jointery for my bird's mouth up here, as well as my bird's mouth down at the bottom, and how this is going to continue through. What makes this interesting is that, you know, sure, it might have been easy to buy a 20-footer to go here, but 20-footers literally cost 4 times the price of these 16-footers. So I'm doing a little bit of math to make this all work for me. This is going to have a kick to it. So this is not accurate right this moment, but what's going to happen is that's going to look something, you know, like this, and it will kick up and be pushed down and supported by this post. So I have, on this left-hand side, I have one rafter that will have no length and support for this whole section. Only one, that's it. The other ones, which would be the end wall, is going to be supported obviously by studs, and then the transition rafter, which is going to go from this edge. You know, one rafter is basically going to be at the 9-foot height and the other rafter is going to be at the 5-foot height. They're going to tie together, obviously, with studs basically holding them together. So I'm not worried about the support there. It's going to be plenty strong enough. I only have this one that is going to be in the middle, for lack of a better term. So that's what I'm concerned with, and I need to make sure it's strong enough to be able to be supported. So this is not the actual piece that I'm putting here. It's just a piece that I had as scrap. It's going to extend down past, you know, the joint. It's going to be nailed off numerous times, and then there's going to be basically a fill that goes in here. All right, I got my cut list printed out, which I'm going to need obviously for cutting my studs. Every one of them is going to be taller than this, so this is the bottom edge. My 2x12 is going to run across the top of this. These don't give me the option for giving those plans, so they're going to run up tall. I'm going to cut out and inset my 2x12 into the studs. But this gives me my layout for that, which is good. I also drew up, you know, this is not 100% to scale per se, but I did draw out the idea and the plans for, you know, mating all this stuff together and some other details. So that's what this is, more or less to scale. So I got all my studs brought over of different lengths that I'm going to need, my bottom plates, top plates, and we just got to cut all this stuff up. All right, with all this laid out, it's not laid out, sorry. I still need to cut my angle for my 2x6 for my 2x12 to go into place. And I'm not quite sure right this moment how I'm going to do that, but I'll figure it out. Eighty-one and 7/8, 82 and 7/8. That's it for the day. You all have a wonderful day yourselves. Thanks for tuning in. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to put comments down below. Have a great day.